We are preparing to start the program. Let's take a few announcements on housekeeping rules. We implore all of you to put your phones on silence while the program is ongoing. Please put your phones on silence while the program is going on. I'm also happy to inform you that for our graduation ceremonies, we are usually live on all universities' social media platforms, as well as on our Radio Universe, our campus radio, Radio Universe 105.7 FM. We have washrooms in the hall. We have washrooms to my right and to my left. There's a door on my right side leading to washrooms for ladies, and there is one on my left leading to washrooms for gents. We also have some mobile toilets outside. In case you are in need, please contact our ushers for help. Please let's get prepared to receive the members of convocation. Please let's kindly rise to receive the members of convocation. You may resume your seats while we wait for the members of council. And while waiting for the members of council, one more housekeeping announcement. Please make sure that you are not wearing any sash. We want our kente to be displayed. Please don't wear your sashes here. When we close and you are taking pictures, you can use the sash, please. Please, let's rise now to receive the members of council.
Amanfo Legon Clotre ni Akwemu Chidom ni Ankobia from Dominic ne kohini say omamwatena sio ni oyade no ade fata no obra ho so a na onya ho Legon man peni oni ne peni force ni o mo abuni mo no mo hwa won Amanfo Legon Clotre eni Akwemu Chidom ni Ankobia from Dominic kohini say omamwatena sio ni oyade no ade fata no obra ho so a na onya ho Legon man peni oni ne peni force ni o mo amuni won no mo hwe won
Modern Bonnie Abasobobre aso. Mumma ye nyina yemfa anigye. Animtie ne opepa empene won. Legon mampanyi gumbrebre ahenewa.
Please let's remain standing for the national anthem. Thanks very much. Please resume your seats. Chancellor of the University of Ghana, Chair of the University Council, members of the University Council, Madam Vice-Chancellor, Provost, Deans, Directors, Registrar, members of Convocation, former university officials, graduates, special guests, our friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good morning. On behalf of management, I extend a very warm welcome to you to the Great Hall of the University as we graduate students who successfully completed the academic programs during the 2024-2025 academic year. This graduation ceremony, particularly dedicated to PhD students from the School of Graduate Studies, is the first of 4 graduation ceremonies scheduled for July 2025. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is my singular honor now to invite our registrar, Mrs. Emilia Ej Mensah, to deliver welcome remarks as we proceed with the program. With a round of applause, please let's welcome Mrs. Emilia.
Thank you very much, Director of Public Affairs. Madam Chancellor, Chair of Council, Vice-Chancellor, members of Council, Provost and other university officials, members of Convocation, graduating students, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to you all. Good morning. On behalf of management of the University of Ghana, I'm delighted to welcome you all to this morning's ceremony, which, as the director indicated, is dedicated to PhD graduating students from all 4 colleges of the university. The ceremony will be under the direction of Mr. Michael Oparetua, Deputy Registrar and Administrator of the School of Graduate Studies. We congratulate and salute all students who have worked so hard and are graduating today. Your hard work has truly paid off, and we wish you all the best on this, your special day. As part of this ceremony, there will also be a short ceremony to award the best teacher for the 2023-2024 academic year. Madam Chancellor, before I take my seat, it is my pleasant duty to call on the Vice Dean of the School of Graduate Studies to perform a short but very important ceremony to acknowledge our international students who are graduating today. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is a tradition at the University of Ghana that at congregation ceremonies, we acknowledge our international student population who came from all over the world to study here. We are pleased to report that members of the Eugene graduating class of 2024-2025 come from 21 countries, including Ghana. The countries are Angola, Benin, Botswana, Burkina Faso, Cameroon, Chad, Cote d'Ivoire, Germany, Ghana, India, Kenya, Liberia, Mali, Namibia, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, Swaziland, Tanzania, Uganda, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. I call on all our international students graduating today to stand to be acknowledged now. Our dear international students, we cherish your contribution to the academic and social life of the University of Ghana and wish you well in your future endeavors. Thank you. You may resume your seats.
Thank you very much, Vice Dean. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome once again to the July 2025 Congregation Ceremony of the School of Graduate Studies, dedicated to our Doctor of Philosophy graduates. It is my singular honor to introduce the Chancellor of the University of Ghana, Mrs. Mary Chinri-Hesse, who is presiding over this morning's Congregation Ceremony. Mrs. Mary Chinri-Hesse is the first female Chancellor of the University of Ghana. She has had renowned careers in Ghana's civil service and at the United Nations. She is an important voice on economic development issues, a defender of human and women's rights, and an advocate for African imperatives. She was the first African woman to be appointed resident coordinator of the UN system and the first African woman to attain the rank of Under-Secretary of the United Nations. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mrs. Mary Chinri-Hesse to deliver her opening remarks.
Madam Chair of Council, members of the University Council, Vice-Chancellor, Registrar, Provosts, Deans, and Directors, esteemed members of Convocation and students, alumni, graduating students, invited guests, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. As Chancellor of this prestigious institution, the University of Ghana, it is a joy and a privilege to welcome you to today's congregation ceremony. Our gathering here in the Great Hall is to celebrate the academic achievements of our graduating students and reflect on the progress our university continues to make. This is a moment of personal achievement, but also of institutional growth. To our graduating students, accept my heartfelt congratulations. Your journey to this point has required perseverance, resilience, and focus. Many of you have had to balance your studies with jobs, family responsibilities, or financial challenges. Yet, you have stayed committed. And today, we honor that commitment with pride. But your achievements go beyond earning a degree. You have grown through the experience, and you all deserve a round of applause. Shall we give them a round of applause? The knowledge, skills, and values you have gained at the University of Ghana have prepared you for the next phase of your journey. You are ready to make meaningful contributions to your communities, to national development, and to solving global challenges. I encourage you to do so with integrity, courage, and a deep sense of humanity. I'm pleased to share a recent achievement by the university with you all here. In the 2025 Times Higher Education THE Interdisciplinary Science Rankings, the University of Ghana was ranked first in Ghana and second in the West African sub-region. And globally, we also made an impressive mark. This is a significant milestone, and you have applauded us. I think the university deserves hearty congratulations, and to everyone else associated with our university. The recognition reflects the deliberate efforts made under the new strategic plan for 2024-2029 to strengthen our strategic and research systems. We have invested in research infrastructure, promoted collaboration across disciplines, attracted international grants, and built partnerships with global institutions. While the ranking affirms the university's place on the global academic map, it also challenges us to go further, and we are hopeful that through collective efforts, we will be even more highly placed in these rankings in future. To our faculty, staff, researchers, and students, I personally say a big thank you. I feel so happy that I'm Chancellor of this university, which is truly making strides. I feel very, very happy about developments. Ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to share the good news of the presence of our new Chair of Council, Madam Marietta Brew, who has hit the ground running since her inauguration as Chancellor of Council. Madam, kindly stand so everybody will see what a beautiful addition we have. As a distinguished as a distinguished alumna of the university, she returns with a wealth of experience, having served as Attorney General and represented Ghana on major international legal platforms. I'm happy that we have another great lady joining the team. Her leadership style is already proving to be inclusive, strategic, and action-oriented. She has undertaken visits to our campuses, centers of research and innovation, and also our learning facilities. She has been demonstrating on these occasions a strong commitment to deepening institutional oversight and advancing the goals of our strategic plan. Yeah. Welcome, Madam. I am sure this will be many, many, many of such occasions you'll be attending. Yeah. Distinguished guests, I'm equally delighted to acknowledge the leadership of our Vice-Chancellor, Professor Nana Abba Apia Amfu. Under her leadership, we have seen remarkable developments in innovation, digital transformation, and student-focused initiatives. One such example is the commissioning of the first hotspot comfort zone, designed to support learning and provide inclusive spaces for students. I echo to you, Madam, and also to your team. I'm proud of the progress you continue to make. I have received with great joy just this week your appointment, Madam, as an African what do you call it? AAU is what? African what? Oh, Association first. Association of African Universities Ambassador for Gender Equity and Social Inclusion. And I warmly congratulate you. This honor speaks to your strong advocacy for inclusive leadership and is a moment of pride for the entire University of Ghana community. Ladies and gentlemen, the university is making meaningful contributions to innovation and student entrepreneurship areas that are essential as the country works to address youth unemployment. Across the campuses, students are developing bold ideas and practical solutions that have the potential to transform industries and create jobs. These are important pillars in support of government development objectives. Our students have the talent and drive But without sustainable government funding, the full potential of university-led innovation will remain untapped. If we are serious, as I know we are, about reducing unemployment, then job creation must be directly linked to the innovation and creativity emerging from our universities. We cannot afford to continue losing our young people to foreign countries in search of opportunity, or worse, risk leaving them behind, vulnerable to frustration, crime, and despair. As Chancellor of this university, I urge government, industry, and development partners to work more closely with our institutions if we are to tackle unemployment meaningfully. Student innovation must be placed at the center of Ghana's job creation agenda. I believe this will help us in our quest to secure a future of dignity, opportunity, and hope for our young people. I also applaud everyone who continues to support the vision of this university. And I remain committed as Chancellor to doing my part to sustain this momentum. Chair of Council, Vice-Chancellor, ladies and gentlemen, it is now my pleasure to declare this assembly duly constituted for the award of degrees to successful graduates. It is customary for the Vice-Chancellor to present a report at congregation on developments in the university over the last academic year. I now call on you, Madam Vice-Chancellor, Professor Nana Abba Apia Amfo, to deliver your report. Thank you very much.
Madam Chancellor, Chair and members of Council, Pro-Vice-Chancellors, Registrar, Provosts, Deans, Directors, and Heads of Departments, Chair and members of the Board of Graduate Studies, members of Convocation, staff and students, alumni, graduates, invited guests, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I'm pleased that you are able to join us celebrate the outstanding achievements of our graduating students. Today marks not just the end of your academic journeys, but also the beginning of new opportunities, responsibilities, and possibilities. Congratulations on reaching this important milestone. Thank you. Over the 2 days of congregation, a total of 1,944 students will be graduated in 4 sessions. This number is made up of 107 PhDs, 917 master's graduates, and 920 undergraduates. In February, 15,750 students graduated, and further ceremonies for this current cohort
will take place in December this year and in February 2026. As has been mentioned earlier, this particular ceremony is dedicated to our PhD graduates. At the University of Ghana, we are committed to fostering academic excellence, innovation, and holistic development, and I'm pleased to highlight key developments that have enriched the student experience and advanced our institutional mission. The state of the university. The University of Ghana continues to build on a strong legacy of academic excellence. Our dear Chancellor has mentioned our recent standing in the Times Higher Education Sub-Saharan Africa rankings, where we placed first in Ghana and first in West Africa and fifth in the Sub-Saharan Africa, a leap from 17th place last year. We launched our new strategic plan in July last year, guided by 5 strategic priorities: transformative student experience, impactful research, commitment to our faculty and staff, engagement and partnerships, and sustainable resource mobilization and stewardship. These priorities and their related objectives, what we call our 5 for 5, are shaping our efforts to remain relevant and impactful while engaging all members of our community to contribute actively to their realization. Improving IT infrastructure. Technology is central to education, and our Information Technology Directorate has enhanced connectivity across campus, expanded Wi-Fi coverage in halls, increased bandwidth, and is working on scaling up internet capacity. The Sakai Learning Management System has been upgraded to improve teaching and learning experiences, and similarly, UG Library Systems has improved access to academic materials through the UG Space platform. Work continues on the Digital Youth Village, driven by our School of Continuing and Distance Education, which when completed will serve as a national hub for digital skills training using UG faculty and other experts to deliver world-class instruction. Research and innovation. Our research ecosystem continues to grow. So far this year, 24 grant agreements worth approximately $23 million USD have been signed, with expected overheads of over $2 million USD. A strong vote of confidence from our global partners. The University of Ghana Graduate Research Fund has been operationalized, with the first call announced in April and awardees to be announced soon. You missed that, but your younger brothers and sisters are going to benefit from that. The West African Center for Cell Biology of Infectious Pathogens has held a hands-on training workshop for antimicrobial resistance, bacterial genomics, and bioinformatics, equipping participants from Sub-Saharan Africa with skills to monitor, detect, and combat AMR, which is a global health challenge. Innovation and collaboration. The university recently co-hosted the Tetremapa Hackathon with University College London, showcasing student-led AI solutions for individuals with speech impairments. The event showcased innovative AI solutions that address communication barriers with individuals with speech impairments. We have partnered with the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry to establish the UG-GNCCI Junior Chamber. The initiative is driven by a shared commitment to address graduate unemployment. Student members of the chamber will gain access to industry leaders, career-shaping opportunities, and a strategic platform to align their personal aspirations with Ghana's economic development agenda. Additionally, through a collaboration with Johnson & Johnson Africa, led by the Careers and Counseling and Health Services Directorates, A program on promoting mental health awareness and training for students and staff has taken off. Recognition and achievements. Madam Chancellor, the university continues to excel nationally and internationally. I'm pleased to report that the University of Ghana has emerged as the top-ranked university in Ghana and the second best in the West African sub-region in the inaugural Times Higher Education Interdisciplinary Science Rankings 2025, placing 187th globally. That was what Madam Chancellor referred to earlier. The rankings positions UG among the world's top 200 institutions recognized for excellence in advancing interdisciplinary science research that addresses complex global and societal challenges. This ranking assesses universities across the world based on multiple criteria, including the quality and impact of interdisciplinary research, strength of academic reputation, volume of scholarly output, international collaboration, and contribution to solving complex global challenges. This is no mean feat, and we applaud all who have contributed to this excellent rating. Madam Chancellor, I'm pleased to announce that I've been named as the Association of African Universities Ambassador for Gender Equity and Social Inclusion. The honor, which is in recognition of my efforts in advancing gender equity, inclusive education, and institutional reform in higher education across the continent, was conferred during the 16th Quadrennial General Conference of the AAU, held this week in Rabat, Morocco. I am humbled by the recognition and pledge to continue working hard in the mentioned areas. As a university, we will continue to work hard to do even better and continue to be a pace-setter not only in Ghana, but also on the continent and globally. The School of Pharmacy has received the Award for Excellence in Pharmacy Education. Also, Dr. Mame Adjoa Jesua Edu, a member of the first batch of PharmD students graduating from the University of Ghana, was the best pharmacy student nationwide in the 2024 professional examinations. Students from the School of Law won the 2025 Jessup Ghana Moot Court competition. I thought we would applaud for that as well. The Noguchi Memorial Institute's containment facilities received 4-star ratings, the highest by the Africa Centers for Disease Control. This continental recognition is a testament of the Institute's commitment to international biosafety and biosecurity standards, affirming its role as a regional center of excellence in infectious disease research, diagnostics, and surveillance. We are indeed proud of all the achievements of our students, faculty, and staff. And ladies and gentlemen, I encourage you all to visit the university's website and our social media handles to read more about these and other achievements by members and units of our community. Modernizing teaching and learning. We have made significant investments in facilities across our campuses. We can talk about a new state-of-the-art building for the Tema Learning Center, which was commissioned earlier this year. Pharma Trust Limited has refurbished a model pharmacy for hands-on student training at the School of Pharmacy, bridging the gap between theory and practice. Students' Financial Aid and SETSA. The University Students' Financial Aid Office has hosted a national conference to commemorate its 20th anniversary, bringing together key stakeholders from tertiary institutions across the country to deliberate on strategies for promoting equity and improving student aid administration. Over the past 20 years, thousands of students have received support from our Student Financial Aid Office. And with this support, many students have been able to excel academically and in leadership roles, both within and outside the university. In many instances, receiving financial aid through the Student Financial Aid Office has indeed changed the trajectory of students' lives. For the 2024-2025 academic year, a total of 1,644 students benefited from scholarship awards. I thank all who have donated generously over the years to help us meet the needs of our students, and we welcome new donors to assist us in this truly life-changing mission. I also note the work of what is now the Center for Disability Studies and Advocacy. That has over the years, originally as the Office of Students with Special Needs, worked hard to support employees and students with different types of disabilities, enabling them to function fully as members of the university community. We have a member of staff from CESTA assisting us this morning. Vice-Chancellor's Academic Awards. In April, we celebrated outstanding academic achievements during the Vice-Chancellor's Academic Awards ceremony. A total of 180 prizes were presented to 142 recipients. Hotspot Comfort Zones. The first Hotspot Comfort Zone, sponsored by the University of Ghana Alumni Association, has been commissioned. 5 more hotspot comfort zones are nearing completion, with plans to replicate these across our other campuses. These innovative spaces offer students a convenient, safe, and welcoming environment to relax, study, or recharge between lectures. The facilities are equipped with seating areas, internet access, and washrooms, enhancing the overall student experience. Legon Leadership Academy. The Legon Leadership Academy held the second session of its leadership workshops last month. The Academy is aimed at enhancing the leadership skills of current and potential leaders within and outside the university. UGMC Transition Team. Madam Chancellor, His Excellency the President, has recently inaugurated a team to work towards reverting management of the University of Ghana Medical Center to the University of Ghana. We anticipate that the transition will enable the governance and operations of the University of Ghana Medical Center to be fully realigned with the university's academic mission, core values, and intellectual capital. It is expected that the medical center will become an integral part of our broader institutional framework, enhancing the training of health professionals, advancing clinical research, and contributing meaningfully to national health policy. And now to our graduating class. Your graduation today reflects your hard work, perseverance, and dedication. As you step out into the world, indeed some of you are already out there, remember that you are not only representatives of the University of Ghana, but also of the values that we hold dear: excellence, integrity, and service to society. I charge you to use the knowledge, skills, and values you have acquired here and to make a positive impact wherever you go. We are very proud of you, and we look forward to seeing all that you will accomplish in the future. Congratulations to the PhD class of 2025. And ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Vice-Chancellor. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, our congregation speaker for this morning's ceremony is Madame Marietta Ejiwa-Brew. Madame Marietta Ejiwa-Brew is a distinguished Ghanaian legal practitioner whose career spans 3 decades of exemplary service in public and private legal practice, international arbitration, and governance. She is currently the legal counsel for the President of the Republic of Ghana, a role in which she advises on constitutional governance matters, legislation, and legal compliance. Prior to her current role, Madame Marietta served as Ghana's Attorney General and Minister for Justice from 2013 to 2017. In that capacity, she acted as the principal legal advisor to the government, representing the state in both civil and criminal matters, and served Ghana as its agent in international arbitration. Her professional roots are in private legal practice. Madame Marietta was managing partner of Luther Brew and Company for over 18 years, where she led legal teams handling complex corporate transactions, mergers and acquisitions, debt restructuring, and project finance. Her experience cuts across sectors such as energy, aviation, banking, mining, and infrastructure. Marietta's professional journey is defined by her deep commitment to justice, her capacity to operate at the highest level of legal and governance decision-making, and her international recognition as an expert in arbitration and criminal law, and commercial law, Her legal expertise extends beyond national borders. She has served on several prominent international arbitration panels. Notably, she was appointed arbitrator by the Permanent Court of Arbitration in matters involving investment disputes, treaty violations, contractual disagreements between states and private entities. In addition to her core legal practice, Marietta is an active member of professional legal associations. She has held leadership roles such as chair of the African Women Lawyers Association Ghana chapter, and served on the General Legal Council, the Judicial Council, and the board of the Volta River Authority. Her academic background combines law and economic policy, holding an LLB and a barrister at law qualification from the University of Ghana and the Ghana School of Law, respectively. She holds a graduate diploma in international law and organization for development from the Institute of Social Studies in The Hague, and an MA in Economics Policy Management from the University of Ghana. Madame Marietta Ejiwa-Brew is currently the chairperson of the University of Ghana's Governing Council. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me welcome Madame Marietta Ejiwa-Brew to deliver her address.
Thank you very much. Madam Chancellor, members of Council, Vice-Chancellor, Pro-Vice-Chancellors, Registrar, members of the Board of School of Graduate Studies, Provosts, Deans and Directors, members of Convocation, staff and students, parents and guardians, my dear graduates, members of the press corps, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning once again. It is both an honor and a privilege to stand before you today, not just as chair of the University Council, but as a Ghanaian who deeply believes in the transformative power of education, scholarship, and service. I thank the Vice-Chancellor and the Congregation Planning Committee for the opportunity to address this August Assembly on this most joyous occasion. This is the first time I am addressing the general university community since Council was reconstituted in April this year. And I must say that the entire Council and I are delighted by the progress the university is making, even while operating under challenging circumstances. We will continue to support university management in its mission to lead the university to achieve its strategic priorities, while allowing the university the autonomy it needs to thrive. Madam Chancellor, as I reflect on my life, I'm filled with immense pride and deep gratitude for the years I spent at the University of Ghana. Legon was more than just a place of academic pursuit. It was where I discovered the power of discipline, the value of hard work, and the importance of integrity. I vividly remember the days spent studying in the law library and the late nights spent in the Baum Library, as well as the spirited debates with my classmates and the mentorship of faculty members who challenged us not only to think critically, but also to lead ethically. These experiences formed the bedrock of my career as a lawyer and gave me the confidence to walk into any position knowing I had been well prepared for this great institution. The university did not just equip me with knowledge, it nurtured me in a sense of purpose and a public duty. It was here that I first grasped the broader role and responsibility of helping to develop Ghana and shape societal norms, which have shaped my career. As I reflect on my journey from the lecture halls of Legon to the various spaces and positions I have served in, I'm reminded daily of how foundational my time here was to the person I have become. It is indeed an honor to return not only as an alumna, but also as a testament to the transformative power of a University of Ghana education. I think that graduating students, I hope that your time at the University of Ghana has been as transformational as mine. Some 34 years ago, I completed my studies here, proud, hopeful, and deeply aware that a new chapter was about to begin. I remember the period vividly, the quiet satisfaction of accomplishment mingled with a gentle weight of uncertainty about what lay ahead. But even then, I knew this much to be true, that the University of Ghana had prepared me well. It had trained my mind to think critically, to adapt with grace, and to lead with integrity. Of course, the world today is markedly different from the one that I graduated into. But this university has not stood still. It has evolved with the times, responding to the shifting complexities of our global age, while holding fast to its core values. My deepest hope is that you too will come to see your time here not only as a launching pad, but also as a compass, shaping how you think, lead, and serve. Today, you join a remarkable group of thought leaders and academics who have consistently demonstrated dedication, perseverance, and strength, the very qualities that embody true academic excellence. I know that the journey to this stage has not been easy or predictable. Many of you have had to balance your studies with managing your duties at work and at home, as well as social obligations. And I salute you for making it through to your graduation day. So you deserve a round of applause. Applause. As I reflect on what each of you has accomplished, I'm struck by the magnitude of your efforts. You have spent years pursuing questions that others might have considered unsolvable. Your respective theses represent more than an academic exercise. They are a testament to human curiosity, courage, and fortitude. Whether your research delved into the molecular roots of disease, explored the rich cultures that define our communities, created groundbreaking technologies, or reflected on the more profound questions of human existence, your work has expanded the boundaries of knowledge. Through your research, you've brought fresh insights and discoveries that will leave a lasting impact on generations to come. As soon-to-be graduates of University of Ghana, you are part of a proud tradition that stretches back to our founding as the premier university in the country, producing generations of thought leaders who drive national development and influence global development policies. Among these are 3 presidents of the Fourth Republic: Professor John Evans Atta-Mills of blessed memory, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and our current president, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, each of whom walked these very halls. Your journeys stand as a testament to the enduring influence of this institution. Indeed, you stand on the shoulders of giants who believe that Africa must be a producer, not merely a consumer of knowledge. And so today, more than ever before, Africa and the world at large need your expertise and look to you to contribute to solving the many problems that we face as a continent. The world today faces complex problems that require innovative solutions rooted in rigorous scholarship, and I believe you are uniquely positioned to address those challenges. You are graduating at a time of profound social, political, economic, and environmental upheaval worldwide. Inequality is rising. Democratic values are being tested. Conflicts are intensifying, and climate disasters are more frequent and severe. Your research has equipped you with the analytical tools, methodological rigor, and deep understanding necessary to tackle most of these pressing issues of our time. More importantly, your perspective brings invaluable insights that can transform global conversations and solutions, can inform global conversations and solutions. Your PhDs should not be mere ornamental titles, but titles that come with a sense of responsibility. You are now custodians of knowledge in your various fields, and society will look to you for expertise, guidance, and leadership. This responsibility extends beyond your immediate professional circles to the broader community that has invested in your education. Remember that knowledge is of little value if it is not applied. Let your research extend beyond the academic journals into the world, where it can make a meaningful and positive difference. I urge you to find ways to translate your findings into practical solutions and engage with policymakers, community leaders, colleagues, entrepreneurs, investors, and fellow citizens to share your insights in accessible ways that can benefit society at large. Ghana and Africa need not only scholars, but also innovators and entrepreneurs who can transform knowledge into economic opportunities. Your training has equipped you with your skills to identify problems, develop solutions, and think critically about implementation in ways that promote inclusivity in human development. Ghana is on the verge of an exciting new chapter. a fresh start to improve our systems, values, and development goals. Your knowledge, creativity, and thoughtful ideas are powerful tools to help build our country. As leaders and problem solvers, you have a special role to play in shaping Ghana's future, bringing research into action, addressing our toughest challenges, and leading the way towards a future marked by excellence, fairness, strength, and prosperity. The positive reset Ghana needs begins with bright minds like yours. Therefore, I challenge you to consider how your expertise might contribute to addressing local challenges while creating value. Whether through research and development in established organizations or launching your own businesses or ventures, you have the potential to be catalysts for constructive change. And please remember that your journey does not end today. You will continue to grow and evolve. And as you move forward in your respective careers, remember the importance of collaboration and networking. There's a Haitian proverb that says, or that goes, and I quote, "One finger cannot lift a pebble." You need more than one finger to be able to lift that pebble. The challenges we face in the 21st century are global in scope and require international cooperation and transdisciplinary approaches to be effectively addressed. As scholars, you must build bridges between Ghana and the global academic and corporate community. Collaborate with researchers and entrepreneurs from within and from other continents and disciplines. Share your perspectives and learn from others while positioning Ghana and Africa as equal partners in the global knowledge economy, not as peripheral recipients of ideas developed elsewhere. Again, many of you will go on to teach, conduct research, and supervise future generations of students. Remember the mentors and supervisors who guided you through your doctoral journey and pay that gift forward. And I applaud your supervisors this morning for the great job they have done. Just like them, be generous with your knowledge, patient with those who are learning, and committed to developing the next generation of scholars. And always remember your alma mater, the University of Ghana, because it has played a crucial role in your development. And I hope you will maintain strong ties with the university. Please support our mission through your engagements as alumni, collaborators, or advocates for higher education in Ghana. And finally, before I bring my speech to an end, distinguished graduating students, I charge you with 4 responsibilities. First, as you graduate today, remember that you must continue to learn. Your degree marks the beginning, not the end of your intellectual journey. Stay curious, remain open to ideas, and strive for excellence in your chosen fields. Knowledge alone is not enough. What will distinguish you is how current, relevant, and applicable your knowledge remains in an ever-changing world. Never stop learning. Second, contribute meaningfully to society. Utilize your knowledge and skills to address real-world problems and enhance lives, whether through research, teaching, policy engagement, or entrepreneurship. Let your work leave a positive and lasting impact. Third, nurture confidence. Always be confident. Remember that confidence is not arrogance. It is the quiet, steady belief that you are prepared, that you belong, and that you are capable. Without confidence, even the most brilliant minds can falter. Believe in your training, in your purpose, and in the value of your contribution. Fourth, represent the University of Ghana with distinction. And I believe Madam VC mentioned it. You are ambassadors of this institution, wherever life takes you. Wherever you find yourselves in academia, public service, industry, or civil society, carry with you the values that define this great university, which are integrity, commitment, respect, and loyalty. Congratulations once again, my dear graduates. The future is bright and promising. May your contributions to society be significant, may your impact be lasting, and may your journey be a long and fulfilling one. I wish you all the best, and thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Marietta Ajewa-Brew. I hope we have all been challenged by the inspiring and thought-provoking address, and will endeavor to practice the insights she has shared with us. Thank you once again, Madam. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is a tradition here in the University of Ghana that at congregation ceremonies, one of the best graduating students delivers a valedictory message on behalf of the graduating class. Our valedictorian for this session is Mary Idrisu. Mary Idrisu was born in Dunkwa on Ofin and received her basic education in Imbrahim, a village in the Upper Densha district. After completing Boamponsem Secondary School, Mary attended Nursing Training College in Ho, where she obtained a certificate in Community Health Nursing in 2001 and emerged as overall best student. In 2006, she earned a registered general nurse certificate from the Nursing and Midwifery Training College at Koforidua. Mary's academic journey at the University of Ghana began in 2009, when she obtained a diploma in nursing with distinction, followed by a first-class Bachelor of Science in Nursing in 2012, and a Master of Philosophy in Nursing in 2017. In 2018, she acquired a certificate in Health Administration and Management from GIMPA before starting a Doctor of Philosophy program in Nursing in 2021. Her professional experience includes working at a community health nurse, as a community health nurse at Kwesi Fante Health Center in Afram Plains, and as a registered general nurse at the Eastern Regional Hospital and Ho Teaching Hospital. She is currently an assistant lecturer in the Department of Adult Health in the School of Nursing and Midwifery, College of Health Sciences, University of Ghana. Mary's research interest encompasses cancer care, palliative care, and women's health. Her MPhil research focused on breast cancer, inspiring her to develop a navigating program at the PhD level aimed at improving breast cancer care outcomes in Ghana. She has published articles in reputable journals and serves as a reviewer. Mary belongs to several professional associations and a recipient of both the Banga Thesis Completion Grant and Erasmus Plus Mobility Grant. She aspires to be a professor one day. She is graduating today as part of the first cohort of PhD in nursing, the first of its kind in the whole country, from the School of Nursing and Midwifery, College of Health Sciences, University of Ghana. Please join me welcome Mary to deliver her address on behalf of the class.
Thank you. Madam Chancellor, Chairperson and members of Council, Vice-Chancellor, Pro-Vice-Chancellors, Registrar, Provost, members of the Board of the School of Graduate Studies, Deans and Directors, members of Convocation, esteemed guests, fellow graduates, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is with immense gratitude that I stand before you today as a valedictorian of my cohort. This moment, the culmination of years of hard work, dedication, and perseverance, fills my heart with joy and reflection. Looking back at the start of this journey, I remember the excitement and apprehension that accompanied our entry into the world of graduate education, all inspired by the narrative shared by those who paved the way. We were a diverse group united by a common goal, to deepen our knowledge and degrees and make meaningful impact on society. We sought to learn not for ourselves alone, but also for the communities we serve. However, the journey was not always easy. Many of us faced challenges in juggling research, teaching, and personal life. We battled self-doubt, sleepless nights, and moments when quitting seemed like an option. Yet, through it all, we supported one another, shared our failures and successes, and formed strong bonds of friendship. My journey began in a family of 10, where both parents were uneducated, but despite their lack of education, they instilled in me the values of perseverance. As a child growing up in a village without health facilities, I dreamt of becoming a nurse. Mine was not a missed call. Though I had no textbooks of my own as a science student, I completed my senior high education by God's grace. After obtaining basic nursing education, I realized the need for higher education to make greater impact on society. And this led me to pursue university degrees at the undergraduate and the master's level, whilst balancing my responsibilities as a nurse, as a mother, and as a wife without the luxury of study leave. Fellow graduates, I believe my experience resonates with many of you gathered here. Today, as I reflect the journey that has brought me to this moment, I am filled with gratitude, and I hope you are too. As we sit here today, in our academic regalia, we carry not just our degrees, but also the stories of resilience and determination that defines our experiences. Let us take a moment to reflect on the invaluable lessons we have learned. In the middle of our journey, when the pressure mounted, we shared countless experiences, including late-night study sessions filled with laughter, writing our reflection papers, discussing extensive articles, and preparing for comprehensive examination. We delved into the works of great thinkers, such as Auguste Comte's positivism, John Dewey's constructivism, Michel Foucault's post-structuralism, Homi Bhabha's post-colonial studies and hybridity, and Emile Durkheim's functionality. These rigorous discussions shaped our understanding and prepared us for the journey ahead. We also navigated the complexities of family responsibilities, funding challenges, tight deadlines, and endless laboratory sessions. Behind our vibrant kente attire and beautifully adorned gowns lie the countless stories of bittersweet campus experiences. For some, it was the tears we shed when we were defending our proposals. For others, it was the stubborn reactions that refused to wake, and lines of course that wouldn't compile. Yet, for most of us, it was a journey of exploring the unknown with dreams of changing the world through our discoveries. As we end the journey today, we recall the racial experiences where we face the tough realities of revising thesis chapters, requesting deadline extensions, and preparing for the final viva. These challenges did not deter us. Instead, they pushed us beyond our limits and revealed our hidden strength. My colleagues, as we celebrate this milestone, let us not forget the support systems that have lifted us throughout our journey. To our families, friends, and mentors, thank you for your unwavering support and encouragement. To the management and staff of the University of Ghana, organizers of thesis writing bootcamp at the School of Graduate Studies, supervisors, Banga Carnegie Africa, Pan-African Doctoral Academy, school-level graduate studies graduate coordinators, examiners, and reviewers, your guidance and sacrifices have not gone unnoticed. Thank you. Finally, fellow graduates, as we step into the world beyond these walls, let us carry forward the spirit of inquiry and compassion that we have cultivated here. The world awaits your contribution, and together we can create meaningful change. I urge you all to embrace the opportunities that lie ahead with courage and confidence. Let us go forward as ambassadors of this esteemed institution, ready to face the challenges of a world filled with possibilities. Congratulations to each of us. We have made it. We thank God Almighty who has guided us to victory. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Mary Idrisu. And I hope he has inspired all of us enough to go out there and make a mark. Shall we give her another round of applause, please? Thank you very much, Mary. We shall now have a musical interlude to be performed by the Ghana Dance Ensemble. They will be performing the Luvo dance. This dance is a creative work by a former member of the Ghana Dance Ensemble who choreographed and donated it to the ensemble. The dance is vibrant and energetic, with exciting movements and music to accompany it. This dance has been selected for this year's congregation because it will take creativity to move the university and the nation forward. Ladies and gentlemen, relax and enjoy the Luvo dance by Ghana Dance Ensemble. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the Louvo dance. Another round of applause for them, please. It is now time for the award of degrees, and I have a few instructions for our graduates. You are seated in the order in which you will be called. You will stand to be presented by the Vice Dean of the School of Graduate Studies. When your degrees are conferred by the Chancellor, she will say to you, Anyeko, and you have to respond, Ya ye. You will then resume your seats for the roll call. When you are called, you are to walk up to the front of the podium, of the platform, and face the audience to be acknowledged, after which you will put on your cap and file past the platform party for a handshake with the Vice Dean and return to your seat. Please follow the directions of the ushers. Courtesy demands that men will take off their caps and bow when they come up front. Women will keep their caps on and curtsy. I will now call on the Vice Dean of the School of Graduate Studies to present the graduates for the award of degrees.
Chancellor of the University of Ghana, I, Professor Irene Mawena Krechi, Vice Dean of the School of Graduate Studies, present to you students of the School of Graduate Studies who, having followed the approved courses of study over the stipulated period and passed the required examinations, have thereby become eligible for the academic awards to which their studies entitle them. I pray for conferment of the awards due them. So we request all students graduating today to kindly be on your feet.
An important moment in your life. Congratulations in advance. Vice Dean of the School of Graduate Studies, by the authority vested in the Chancellor of the University of Ghana, I, Mary Chinwe Hesse, the Chancellor, hereby pronounce the students presented duly graduated. School of Graduate Studies. Anyeko. Okay. Thank you very much.
You may please resume your seats. Doctor of Philosophy in Agribusiness, Jacqueline Beidu. Her supervisors were Professor Irene Susanna Ejir, Reverend Professor Edward Ebo Onoma, and Professor Akwesi Mensah Bonsu. Motin Bashiru. His supervisors were Professor Irene Susanna Ejir, Professor Akwesi Mensah Bonsu, Dr. Yao B. Osei Asari, and Professor Jinson Huang. Benjamin Safo. His supervisors were Reverend Professor Edward Ebo Onoma, Dr. John Baptist D. Jato, Professor Jinson Huang, and Dr. Abigail Ampoma Adaku. Doctor of Philosophy in Agricultural Extension, Sunday Adogoba Desmond. His supervisors were Professor Daniel Edu Ankra, Dr. Mrs. Comfort Freeman, Dr. Jonathan Nicholas Anaglo, and Dr. Edward Mate. Doctor of Philosophy in Applied Agricultural Economics and Policy, Joseph Mansvera. His supervisors were Professor Kwabena Asumeni Anaman, Professor Akwesi Mensah Bonsu, Dr. Alfred Barima, and Dr. Selma Karuai. Salisu Mustafa. His supervisors were Dr. Yao Osei Asari, Dr. John Baptist D. Jato, and Dr. Francis Amevenku. Doctor of Philosophy in Chemistry, Opare Patrick Sechi. His supervisors were Professor Richard Kwamla Ameu and Professor Samuel Kojo Kofi. Doctor of Philosophy in Entomology, George Kofi Abonyiwa. His supervisors were Professor Kwame Afre-Nuyama and Professor Vincent Yao Ezia. Hannah Sewa Akoto. Her supervisors were Professor Maxwell Kevin Bila, Professor Ken Okwai-Fening, and Dr. Lako Koku B.A. Aboyi. Doctor of Philosophy in Environmental Science, Francis Awafo Akugre. His supervisors were Professor Opoku Pebi, Professor Alberta Henkan, and Professor Jessise Ayivo. Ohene Asabosunpim. His supervisors were Professor Benedict Ayira Fosu Mensah, Professor Opoku Pebi, and Dr. Daniel A. Daku. Emmanuel Owusu. His supervisors were Dr. Ted Yemo Anan, Professor Samuel Adekujo, Professor Opoku Pebi, Professor Benjamin Delali Dovie, and Dr. Benjamin Ofori. Ignatius Kweku Williams. His supervisors were Professor Francis K. Yinunu and Dr. Adelina Mensah. Doctor of Philosophy in Fishery Science, Samuel Kweku Kone Amponsa. Doctor of Philosophy in Fisheries Science, Samuel Kweku Kone Amponsa. Doctor of Philosophy in Food Science, Naomi Amu Essien. Her supervisors were Professor Firibu Kwesi Salia, Dr. Winfred Peck Doleku, Dr. Nicole Sharon Efrifa, and Dr. Jocelyn Kwansa. Doctor of Philosophy in Marine Science, Phyllis Ekuya Amamu. Her supervisors were Dr. Benjamin Oseibuche, Dr. Peter Kojokwashi, and Professor Gabriel Komla Ameka. Doctor of Philosophy in Material Science and Engineering, John Aja. His supervisors were Professor Benjamin Ejay Tufo, Professor Emmanuel Nyangsin, Professor David Doduahin, and Professor Wole Soboyejo. Bernard Kwame Muse. His supervisors were Professor Lucas Nanawiredu Damoa, Professor Yaudela Libensa, and Dr. David Sasu Kunedu. Mavis Sika Ochre. His supervisors were Professor Lucas Nanawiredu Damoa, Professor Emmanuel Nyangsin, Professor Yaudela Libensa, and Dr. David Sasu Kunedu. Sarah Ekuya Osafo. Her supervisors were Professor Abu Yaya, Professor Benjamin Ejay Tufo, Professor David Dodu Ahin, and Professor Winston Oluwole Soboyejo. Doctor of Philosophy in Molecular Cell Biology of Infectious Diseases, Christopher Zab Yen Abana. His supervisors were Professor George Boatin Chei, Dr. Evelyn Yairaboni, and Professor Osborne Quay. Nana Egele Adade. Her supervisors were Professor Samuel Diodu, Professor Lydia Musi, Dr. Stephen Della Ahato, and Professor Miguel Valvano. Cynthia Malebna Amisigo. Her supervisors were Professor Teresa Manfujira, Dr. Jack Sunta, and Dr. Gloria Amegacha. Angela Na Amele Ayiku. Her supervisors were Professor Samuel Diodu, Dr. Peter Kojokwashi, Dr. David Verna Jeffries, and Dr. Richard Pali. Alexandra Lindsay Jom Kamzun. Her supervisors were Dr. Lily Pemka, Professor Dr. Frank Leko, and Dr. Mehdi Buhadu. Franklin Yangdem Nupem. His supervisors were Professor Kwejo Asamoah Kusi, Dr. Yao Eniwe, and Professor Gordon A. Awandari. Charles Ochien Orwa. His supervisors were Dr. Yao Bedi Akon, Dr. Peter Kojokwashi, Dr. Mehdi Buhadu, and Professor George Boatinche. Sheila Santa. Her supervisors were Professor Osborne Quay, Dr. Charles Adokwe Brown, and Professor Emmanuel Ayitetego. Edith Amwaki Amwate. Her supervisors were Dr. Eric T. Glover, Professor David Okokpeglo, Professor Francis Otu, and Professor Dennis K. Adote. That is for Doctor of Philosophy in Nuclear and Environmental Protection. Nafiu Mohammed Zainuddin. His supervisors were Professor Dennis Papo Adote, Dr. Andrew Nyamfo, Dr. Latifatu Mohammed Aja, and Professor Shilo Osai. Doctor of Philosophy in Nuclear Earth Science, Salam Jazbaka Adams. His supervisors were Professor Samuel Boachi Dampari, Professor Prosper Mackenzie Nude, Professor Daniel Kojo Asiedu, and Dr. Maria Kefan Lichtenfeld. Doctor of Philosophy in Nuclear Engineering, Kafi Cheke Agbevanu. His supervisors were Professor Seth Kofi Debra and Dr. Edward Shitty. Doctor of Philosophy in Nutrition, Patience Atichugbe. His supervisors were Professor Matedashana Asiedu, Professor George A. Ano, Dr. Emmanuel Chire, and Dr. Danton Wang. Doctor of Philosophy in Plant Breeding, Ogugra Akomula Roderick Ajibogun. His supervisors were Professor Kojo Ofori, Professor Isaac Kojo Asante, Dr. John Xavier Yao Eleblu, and Dr. Maswell Dakun Asante. Abigail Chuniboa Asari. Emmanuel Gilbert Omiat, Doctor of Philosophy in Radiation Processing, Diana Marie. Her supervisors were Dr. Michael Yao Osai, Dr. John Abraham, and Dr. Daniel Ashikote. Doctor of Philosophy in Radiation Protection, Sheila Victoria Bomita. Her supervisors were Professor Jeffrey Amy Reynolds, Professor Benjamin B.J. Nyako, and Professor Jason T. Harris. Doctor of Philosophy in Adult Education and Human Resource Studies, Samuel Jabez Akaifi. His supervisors were Professor Olivia Adjoa Tiwa Frimpong Kwapong, Professor Samuel Amponsan, and Professor Simon Peter Kafui Aheto. Augustina Ade Ashi. Her supervisors were Professor Yao Ohineba Sechi, Dr. Philip Kwesi Mante, and Dr. Robert Lawrence Afutukote. Belinda Juliet Gotti. Ama Frema Granting. Belinda Juliet Gotti. Her supervisors were Professor Olivia Adjoa Tiwa Frimpong Kwapong, Professor Simon Peter Kafui Aheto, and Professor Isaac Kofi Baini. Ama Frema Granting. Her supervisors were Professor Michael Ayitetego and Professor John Kwame Boating. Esmelinda Koko Ufue. Her supervisors were Professor Samuel Amponsan, Dr. Yvette Asher, and Dr. Daniela Sedega. Doctor of Philosophy in Communication Studies, Annie Oye. Her supervisors were Professor Udri Gajipo, Professor Amin Al-Hassan, Professor Abina Enimua Yaboa Benin. Diana Sebi. Her supervisors were Professor Audrey Gachepo, Dr. Gilbert Theater, and Professor Charlotte Ringley Asante. Doctor of Philosophy in Information Studies, Lawrence Tete Akosen. His supervisors were Professor Harry Akusa, Dr. Musa Adams, Dr. Day DeGraff Johnson, and Professor Philip Kankam. Nasir Kurantin Asiedu. His supervisors were Professor Edwin Ellis Bedu, Professor Emmanuel Ejei, and Dr. Ebenezer Ankra. Doctor of Philosophy in Dietetics, Ivy Priscilla Frimpong. Her supervisors were Professor Charles A. Brown, Dr. Rebecca K. Steele Dazi, Professor George Awuku Asari, and Dr. Hussein Mohammed. Our first PhD nursing cohort, Mary Idrisu. Her supervisors were Professor Lydia Aziato, Dr. Gladys Jansi, and Dr. Gloria Achempim Anson. Collins Atapoku. His supervisors were Professor Adelaide Maria Ansan Ofe and Dr. Ache Ajopashi. Joyce Poivra. Her supervisors were Dr. Mary Annie Amponsan, Professor Samuel Ajololo, and Professor Abdul Mumin Al-Hassan. Anita Ohinewa Yosin. Her supervisors were Professor Kojo Ameyao Kosa, Professor Lillian Ohene, and Dr. Yvonne Nati. Doctor of Philosophy in Public Health, Rita Baden. Her supervisors were Professor Francis Anto, Professor Philip Baba Adongo, and Emeritus Professor Fred Newton Benka. Krista Osei Mensah. Her supervisors were Professor Phyllis Dakujechi, Professor Emmanuel Sampon, and Dr. Benedict Webon. Benson Owusu. His supervisors were Dr. Reginald Kwansa, Professor Mauli Jojo Menyo, and Dr. Prudence Tete. Pamela Emefa Salome. Her supervisors were Professor Paulina Tindana, Professor John Ganley, and Professor Patricia Akwengo. Elizabeth Sobo. Her supervisors were Professor Genevieve Cecilia Aite, Professor Justice Novinho, and Professor Mauli Jojo Menyo.
Doctor of Philosophy in African Studies, Anani Ejay. His supervisors were Professor Albert Kanlisi Awedoba, Professor Ebenezer Ayesu, and Dr. Benjamin Kwansa. Samuel Baweje Akakpo. His supervisors were Professor Albert Kanlisi Awedoba, Professor Daniel Kojo Avogbedo, and Professor Margaret Japon. Dikpete Thomas Sanote. His supervisors were Professor A.C. Sunderland Adi, Professor Albert Kanlisi Awedoba, Dr. James A.N. Sanchi, and Professor Mercy Akufi Ansan. Doctor of Philosophy in Classics, Abraham Lincoln Nuchuga. His supervisors were Professor Kofi Aka, Professor Amos Edehite, and Professor Jaroslav Daines. Doctor of Philosophy in Development Studies, Mame Ofewa Sapon. Her supervisors were Professor Felix A. Asante, Professor Simon Bawachilenu, and Dr. Cynthia Adokwe Tego. Doctor of Philosophy in Finance, Godson Kobla Aloito. His supervisors were Professor Lord Mensah, Professor Godfred A. Buckpen, and Professor Bernardine Senaja. Doctor of Philosophy in Geography and Resource Development, Thomas Paddy Apai. Effects of oil and gas. His supervisors were Professor Ejay Yaro, Professor Austin D. Ablo, and Professor Joseph Kofi Te. Edward Kweku Ashon. His supervisors were Professor Martin Oting Abebio and Dr. Isaac Arthur. Peter Dagadu. His supervisors were Professor Martin Oting Abebio, Professor Alex Berema Owusu, and Professor Samuel Ejay Mensah. Stephen Yao Fiatonu. His supervisors were Professor Martin Oting Abebio, Professor Gerald A.B. Yeran, and Professor Lassie Mola Jensen. Ronald Reagan Jima. His supervisors were Professor Kojo Owusu, Professor Gerald A.B. Yeran, and Dr. Isaac Kwamina Arthur. Doctor of Philosophy in Human Resource Management, Lillian Ama Efum. Her supervisors were Professor Mohamed Aminu Sanda, Professor Obi Bekun O. Damwa, and Professor Anna Akowska. Reginald Arthur. His supervisors were Justice Professor Olivia Ankuchede, Professor Mohamed Aminu Sanda, Professor Eleonora Belfiore, and Professor Tilt Tildy Langavan. Theresa A.C. Bosomche. Her supervisors were Professor Kwesi Dateban, Dr. Xavier Nubo. Daniel Nasir. His supervisors were Professor James Baba Abogari and Dr. Xavier Ayete Nubo. Doctor of Philosophy in Information Systems, Patrick Anan Nunu. His supervisors were Professor Richard Boating, Professor Emmanuel Awoni Kolog, Dr. Echampong Owusu, and Professor Eric Afoldazi. Doctor of Philosophy, International Affairs, Seku Beth. The supervisors were Dr. Emmanuel Ken Ahosu and Dr. Bonnie Yao Gebe. Roland Yabua Mereku. His supervisors were Professor Philip Atukefio, Professor Richard Asante, and Professor Kojo Apiejetua. Nana Kwame Nkrumah. His supervisors were Professor Philip Atukefio, Dr. Linda Dakwa, and Dr. Edward Asiedu. Doctor of Philosophy in Linguistics, Fatau Amidu. His supervisors were Dr. Fuseini Hudu, Professor George Akanlik Pare, and Professor Clement Apa. William Duete. His supervisors were Professor Kofi Ajekum, Dr. Reginald Akokudua, and Professor Clement Apa. Doctor of Philosophy in Marketing, Cynthia Akosia Abuaje Ochre. Her supervisors were Professor Mahmoud Abdullahi Mahmoud and Professor Robert Ebo Henson. Comfort A.J. Beidu. Her supervisors were Professor Mahmoud Abdullahi Mahmoud, Professor Robert Ebo Henson, and Professor Charles Blankson. Lorna Kanko Edu Deborah. Her supervisors were Professor Mahmoud Abdullahi Mahmoud and Professor Stephen Mahama Brima. Michael Nana Amwako. The supervisors were Professor Stephen Mahama Brima, Professor Ernest Yao Trinibwa Kodua, and Professor Raphael Odum. Dominic Ando. His supervisors were Professor Kobi Mensah and Professor Kwame Adom. Gideon Awini. His supervisors were Professor Kobi Mensah, Professor Ernest Yao Trinibwa Kodua, and Professor Mahmoud A. Mahmoud. Bipasha Kuma. Her supervisors were Dr. Prince Kodua and Professor Stephen Mahama Brima. Delhi Doche Glee. His supervisors were Professor Ernest Y. Trinibwa Kodua, Professor Stephen Mahama Brima, and Professor George Echempo. Idrisu Mohammed. His supervisors were Professor Mahmoud Abdullahi Mahmoud and Professor Robert Ebo Henson. Nathaniel Newman. His supervisors were Professor Mahmoud Abdullahi Mahmoud and Professor Robert Ebo Henson. Beatrice Obeng. Her supervisors were Professor Bedman Nate and Professor Stephen Mahama Brima. Emmanuel Ni Ayi Solomon. His supervisors were Professor Stephen Mahama Brima, Professor Raphael Odum, and Professor Kobe Mensah. Ibrahim Suleimana. His supervisors were Professor Mahmoud A. Mahmoud and Professor Kwame Adom. Anas Suleiman. His supervisors were Professor Kobe Mensah and Professor Mahmoud A. Mahmoud. Doctor of Philosophy in Migration Studies, Apia Jumo. His supervisors were Dr. Emmanuel Kennedy Ahosu, Professor Margaret Delali Badasu, and Dr. Mark Kweku Mensah Obeng. Raphael Ewuntoma. His supervisors were Professor Martin Oteng Abebio, Dr. Ken Ahosu, and Dr. Obodai Toto. Gideon Selom Hosu Publi. His supervisors were Dr. Osman Al-Hassan, Professor Linda Kandilige, and Dr. Edward Asiedu. Sarah Bema Nyako. Her supervisors were Professor Steve Tona, Professor Stephen O. Kwanche, and Professor Mary B. Setrana. Hayford Yabua. His supervisors were Professor Margaret Delali Badasu, Professor Joseph K. and Dr. Edward Esiedu. Noah Ahomka Yabua. His supervisors were Professor Joseph Teye, Professor Mary B. Setrana, and Dr. Linda Kandelege. Doctor of Philosophy in Political Science, Frank Bitalfi Ijon. His supervisors were Dr. Mame Adjoa A. Jechi Jando, Dr. Lloyd Edu Amwa, and Dr. Nene Lomote Kudicha. Doctor of Philosophy in Population Studies, Caesar Agula. His supervisors were Dr. Adriana A.E. Baini, Professor Patrick O. Assuming, and Dr. Pel Che. Doctor of Philosophy in Psychology, Dora Ewa. Her supervisors were Professor Charity S. Akotia, Professor Annabella Oseitutu, and Dr. Johnny Andor Arthur. Doctor of Philosophy in Study of Religions, Seth Nakon Asari. The next graduate is a student with special need. Joseph Ankoma Cromwell. His supervisors were Professor Nicoletta Gatti and Dr. Godfred Insia. Elijah Wuni Nabo. Elijah Wuni Nabo. His supervisors were Reverend Dr. Cosmos Ebo Saba and Professor Elizabeth Amwa. And finally, Doctor of Philosophy in Theater Art. Seth Nyako Asari. His supervisors were Dr. Ben Willie Kwekugolo and Dr. Lawrence Boache. Okay, finally, Doctor of Philosophy in Theater Arts, Baba Haruna. His supervisors were Professor Martin Otre Owusu, Dr. Samuel Benaj, and Dr. Joyce Osei Owusu.
Thank you very much, Vice Dean and administrators of the School of Graduate Studies. Our dear fresh graduates, congratulations. As fresh graduates, you may now take a moment to move the tassels on your caps from the right to the left to signify your graduation. You are now our freshest alumni, and we are very proud of you. As alumni of the University of Ghana, you are our international ambassadors. We expect you to translate the knowledge gained in this institution to benefit humanity. We pray that you will be this institution's most loyal supporters and make us proud wherever you find yourselves. Congratulations once again. Another round of applause for. It's now time for the Distinguished Teacher Award. I shall now call on the registrar to take over proceedings.
Thank you very much, and congratulations once again to all our graduated students. Madam Chancellor, university-wide award schemes for employees have been reintroduced to recognize and appreciate outstanding accomplishments and performance by all categories of employees of the university. Recognizing the contribution of employees is a vital expression of the University of Ghana's commitment to its faculty and staff as articulated in our strategic plan, which runs from 2024 to 2029, and which places a strong emphasis on enhancing institutional effectiveness and fostering a high-performance culture. By acknowledging the dedication, innovation, and service of employees, the university not only celebrates individual and collective achievements, but also reinforces a culture of continuous improvement and motivation. Such recognition supports the building of a dedicated, responsive, and empowered workforce that contributes meaningfully to the university's vision, mission, and strategic objectives. A ceremony will be held later in the year to recognize all categories of employees. And for today's ceremony, we recognize Dr. Derek Seyram Sule, who has been nominated by the Selection Committee and approved by the Business and Executive Committee to receive the Distinguished Teacher Award for the 2023-2024 academic year. I now call on Dr. Sule to please step forward and face congregation as your citation is read by the Director of Human Resource and Organizational Development.
Dr. Derek Seyram Sule, Distinguished Teacher Award, 2023-2024 academic year. Dr. Derek Seyram Sule, Senior Lecturer in the Department of Radiography, School of Biomedical and Allied Health Sciences, College of Health Sciences at the University of Ghana. You are known for your extensive clinical and academic experience in diagnostic radiography and your strong commitment to student learning and professional development. Your teaching philosophy is rooted in promoting positive learning, stimulating enthusiasm through constructivist and competency-based pedagogies, and cultivating a culture of lifelong learning. You incorporate behavioral, cognitive, and constructivist learning theories in your instructional planning, delivery, and assessment. By applying methods such as think-pair-share activities, jigsaw techniques, constructive controversies, and interactive lectures, you effectively accommodate diverse learning styles, encourage higher-order thinking, and ensure inclusive and engaging instruction. You have consistently demonstrated an unwavering dedication to promoting positive learning, inspiring students' enthusiasm, and building strong foundations for lifelong learning. Your impact on your students' learning greatly contributed to their excellent performance during the 2024 World Radiography Day Inter-Institutional Competition, where they emerged as winners. You are deeply committed to bridging theory and practice, and your strong preference for clinical settings and allows students to learn directly from real-world practice, deepening their understanding and application of radiographic techniques. You regularly take your students into clinical settings where you personally demonstrate radiographic techniques and procedures. Your areas of expertise include magnetic resonance imaging, MRI, computed tomography, CT, fluoroscopic procedures, ward and theater radiography, conventional radiography, and sonography, covering obstetric, gynecological, abdominal, small parts, and vascular imaging. Your dedication and competence led your selection to assist in the training of the first cohort of CT scan radiographers at the Tamale Teaching Hospital, an acknowledgement of your practical skills and professional excellence. Dr. Derek Seyram Sule, in recognition of your exemplary mode of teaching, your passion for student development, and your significant contributions to radiography education, the University of Ghana is proud to confer upon you the 2023-2024 Distinguished Teacher Award. Aiko. The citation goes with a handsome check.
Congratulations once again, Dr. Sule. Shall we give him another round of applause, please? Well done. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, at this point, I shall call on the Chancellor of the University to deliver her closing remarks and to dissolve congregation. Thank you.
Chair of Council, members of the University Council, Vice-Chancellor, and other officers of the University, members of convocation, staff and students, alumni, new graduates, guests from all around the world, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. As we bring this graduation ceremony to a close, I would like to once again extend my warmest congratulations to our graduating class. Your journey has not been without challenges, as we have reminded you so often this morning, but you have persevered. Today, we honor your dedication and resilience. Let me take a moment to acknowledge with sincere appreciation all those who have contributed to the planning and execution of today's ceremony, as well as the other congregation events this week. Your efforts behind the scenes have made these celebrations memorable, and we are grateful. To our new graduates, the path to this point has required hard work, discipline, and determination. You have earned your honors, and I urge you to wear them with pride. Go forward as proud ambassadors of the University of Ghana. Stay connected to your alma mater through the Alumni Association, which offers opportunities to give back and remain part of this vibrant academic community. I think you deserve a round of applause. But I think I'm right also to invite you yourselves, my dear graduates, to give yourselves a round of applause and a shout of joy. You are now part of a long-standing network of alumni who have made meaningful contribution to Ghana's development across various sectors. We continue to see our alumni and faculty called upon to serve in important roles that support national growth and global engagement. You also have a responsibility to stand out in your professions and live up to the values we have nurtured in you. Let integrity, commitment, respect, and loyalty guide your choices as you step out into the next chapter. Your education has prepared you to contribute to the transformation of society, and we are counting on you to help Ghana and the world respond to the complex challenges of our time. And when you succeed, as we believe you will, remember the University of Ghana. come back and support its work. Through scholarships, mentorship, or impactful projects, your contribution can shape the future of others. I want to emphasize this. The university still needs you. Your time, your skills, and your resources to continue growing and impacting lives. May the lessons that you have learned here guide you. May your journey ahead be fulfilling, meaningful, and impactful. Go with confidence and clarity, knowing that you are ready to make a difference. I now invite all of us to recognize with heartfelt applause the support of parents, guardians, spouses, families, and friends whose encouragement and sacrifices helped make today possible. Congratulations to everyone. To our faculty and staff, thank you for your commitment through this academic journey. And I especially recognize you, Dr. Derek Ceremonies, who is the recipient of the Best Teacher Award, as well as all other employees whose hard work has been recognized this year. It is your hard work and dedication that drives the university's success. And I encourage all employees to continue to give of their best to enable the university meet the strategic objectives. And now, I invite you all to join me in giving 3 happy cheers to the class of 2025. Hip, hip, hip. Hooray. Hip, hip, hip. Hooray. Hip, hip, hip. Hooray. Thank you very much. And congratulations once again. Do go into the world with confidence and make a difference. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is now my duty to declare this congregation ceremony officially dissolved. Thank you all for joining us for this ceremony. May God bless us all, and may God bless our homeland, Ghana, and make her great and strong. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much, Madam Chancellor. Please let's give her another round of applause. Hearty congratulations to our distinguished teacher again. Congratulations to you. And our freshers graduates, congratulations. We are so proud of you, and as all the other speakers have urged, I also encourage you to shine and brighten every corner in which you find yourself as you proceed with integrity. I'm happy to announce that for this congregation ceremony, we were joined by our former registrar, Mrs. Emilia Ejim, Mrs. Mercy Hazel Ashia. Sorry for that. We are also joined by the Vice-Chancellor of the University of Health and Allied Sciences, Professor Lydia Aziato, who is a former dean of our School of Nursing and Midwifery. Also, we are joined by the sister of our Chancellor, Madam Adala Bruce Kuna. Thank you very much for joining us. And doing our sign language for us today, we have colleagues from our Center for Disability Studies and Advocacy. I have Mrs. Joyce Nyakwa Agbedoho standing here right by me, and Mr. Emmanuel Akwesiabuaji is seated there. We thank you very much, colleagues. We'll take a couple of announcements before we recess. After the university anthem, we kindly ask all graduates to remain standing as the members of University Council and the members of Convocation recess. And then you join us row by row, and we'll all converge at the Convocation group of buildings where we have the bust of our former Vice-Chancellors for group photographs. We also invite our platform party to retire to the Vice-Chancellor's Lodge after the group photographs, and we are inviting the valedictorian together with her guests to join the platform party at the Vice-Chancellor's Lodge. Please take note that we have accredited photographers at the Sam Kenneth Abwa Quadrangle, which is behind the BAM Library, the beautiful garden behind the BAM Library. That's where our accredited photographers are. If you want to take photographs, you can engage them. And make sure they are accredited by the Public Affairs Directorate of the university. And when you take your graduation photos, please, we have hashtags. Share them on our hashtags. So we are going to go back to the classroom. You repeat the hashtags after me. So let's say together, hashtag UG congregation. Hashtag UG class of 2025. So these are hashtags for this graduation ceremony. When you take your graduation photos, please share on our hashtags. And remember to return your gowns to the collection points for your certificates. Now, when you turn to the last page of your congregation brochure, you see a call from our University of Ghana Alumni Association. All our principal officers have urged you to join the alumni network. There's a QR code there. Please scan it and fill the form. The form is not a comprehensive one. It's just a small form that you can fill to join our distinguished alumni. And remember that you are very blessed to be alumni of the premier university in Ghana. And so I call on you all to share the good story to your friends and relatives, because you are proud alumni. As alumni, your CVs are now very complete. As alumni of UG, your CVs are now very complete. So share the good news with your friends to grab a degree from the University of Ghana to complete their CVs as well. So when you turn to page 56, from page 56 to 62, you see our graduate programs displayed there. Please share with your friends and relatives so that they can also grab degrees from here to complete their CVs. For our order of recession, I already noted that the members of University Council will lead, followed by members of council, and then graduates. You file out row by row to join us for our group photographs. For now, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please let's rise for the university anthem. You'll find the lyrics on page 63 of your brochure and also on the screens.